This video will show you how to use Google Sheets, Google Drive, as your CRM for your probate leads. Personally, I use Top Producer, but for those of you who do not have a CRM or haven't chosen one yet, or really just don't really have a need for a full featured database, I'm going to show you how you can at least use this to track your direct mail and phone campaigns. So we're going to start by downloading your leads. And this is not the same site you will see, but at the bottom of your members area or in the email that you receive, you'll see a link so you can download the file. So simply click that link, and depending on wherever your downloads go on your machine, it's going to put it there. So once you've got the sheet downloaded, I actually already have it open. It's going to look like this, and it's going to come to you in a CSV format, and that's just a simple database style spreadsheet. In Microsoft Excel, you'll see a box in the top left with a little diamond, and you can see when I click that, it selects all columns and all rows. So you're going to select that, and there's two ways. You can either hit Control or Command C, or you can right click, copy. And what that's going to do is it's going to grab everything on this sheet. And now we're going to go to our Gmail account. And in Gmail on the top right, you'll see a little grid. And from there, we're going to go to Google Drive. Now, once in Google Drive, you'll see a New button. So you're going to click New and Google Sheets. Google Sheets is the equivalent of Microsoft Excel. It's Google's product. So it's for those of you who are not advanced Excel users, this is going to be a great tool. If you are, there's a slight learning curve. So we're going to start by going to the title. So double click Untitled Spreadsheet, and we're going to put in, and because I've already made one of these, I'm going to make this number 2. Alright, so the first spot is first thing you need to do is decide, do you want all this to be on one running sheet, or would you like to have tabs? And the sheet that we started this video on, I'll show you how I set that up, and then we'll walk through basically just duplicating that. So the way I've set this up is the first month of data is in, so you can see that the probate was filed in March. This is the list that will come to you in April. So we've put it under the April 15 tab. And I've also made tabs for May. So if you decide to do it on separate sheets, you'll have each month in its own kind of self-contained sheet. And you can just continue across the board here. So I'll show you how to do this. The other thing you could do is, always have this column, the probate date, could be your tracking column based on when the list came in. And you could just use this to sort by date. So this month you have 209 leads, and you could just start in this corner and hit paste, and it would paste all the same information. Something that's really important is that you don't ever delete any of these columns. Each month the data will come to you with the same number of columns, and I realize that you don't know, like for example, A through E is useless information for you on a daily basis, and it can be kind of distracting, but do not delete those columns. A little advanced probably for the first session, but I can show you a way that you can hide these columns, and then if you're going to build on the sheet, you can unhide them, copy and paste, and then rehide them. So anyway, let's go back to our new sheet. And we're going to start by calling this, we're going to go to the little arrow and hit rename, and we're going to call this April 15. And then we're going to create another one. And we're going to rename that to May. And then we're going to create another one. And we'll call this guy April. Or, geez, June. Okay, so now we're set up for 3 months. And you can do this for the next 10 years if you want. It'll be separated and it'll just keep building sheets. So now we have to populate the sheet. So you go back to the Excel sheet. Remember, we highlighted the diamond and we copied. Now you can do the same thing in Google Docs. You see how all cells and are all rows and all columns are highlighted as soon as you click in the top left square. So click in the top left and you're either going to hit Control V as in Victor, or you're going to right click paste, and that information will go in. Now I will warn you, the video may hang up here because it's a lot of data that it's moving, so be patient. While that is working, I'll show you. Maybe I won't. So how's the weather? Normally this shouldn't take this long. I have way too many things going on with my machine right now, so I'm uploading videos and making videos at the same time, so bear with me here. I'm sorry for the rainbow wheel. Okay, so now that your data is in here, let's start by bolding row 1, just so we can see our headers a little better. And you can even add a little bit of color to it if you'd like. Let's see, blue for all the leads, right? Okay, so that helps us kind of differentiate. Now, as I said, there's going to be some columns in here that you don't want to see, but you're going to have to get used to that because in order to have consistency in the system. Because every month you're going to get these columns from us. So let's just leave that alone for now. So let's go all the way to the right. Let me see at the column AN, we're going to right click, insert one to the right, right click, insert one. So we're going to put in 3 here for phone calls. And we're going to call these columns actually, let's start with letters. Okay, and then once that's done, we're going to add columns for phone calls. So we're going to insert one right, insert one right, insert one right. Okay, and then if you're marketing to attorneys, we're going to do 2 more columns for the attorney. So insert one and insert one. And we're going to do one for attorney letter and attorney call. So we've added 8 columns here. We have 3 direct mail pieces, 3 phone calls, and then 1 letter and 1 call to the attorney. Now, if you are really being aggressive and you want to do 3 letters and 3 phone calls to the attorney, I highly recommend that. So you can customize this to whatever level you would like. So for example, letter 1, let's say you got your leads today, and we'll just say, today is the 20th. So you order your mail. Letter 1 will drop on, let's say, the 22nd. And then on the so let's say the 24th should give us enough time to have that letter landing in mailboxes. So letter 1 should hit all these people on 2/24/15. Now, if you see this little blue square, you can grab this and pull it all the way down to each of these people. So you had 209 people. All right, so that didn't work. In Excel, this is one of those examples of where I am in Microsoft Excel. You can choose how you want to copy it down. So just hit Control Z. So all right, so worst case scenario is that you use an X here. For whatever reason, I can't, and while I'm making a video, I'm not going to try to figure this out. In Microsoft Excel, you can pull this as far as you would like, and rather than making a new day for each letter, you can actually make it copy each letter. So I'm not sure why it's doing that, but if you mess up, you can always hit Control Z and it'll take you right back. So for the purpose of this video, let's just say we're going to mark the letter with an X. And on that X, you can hold your cursor right here and double click and fill them all in, or you can grab this and pull it manually. If you do the double click trick, it will fill to the last populated cell, which will be cell 210, row 210 on this spreadsheet. So when your letter goes. Now I would recommend the date, because then you know what day the letter hit. And then for phone call, I would also recommend the date here, but just for instructional purposes, you can do the same thing there. If you make all your calls in the same day, just hit X or put in X and double click or pull it. Okay, so now you see that when you open this up, you say, okay, I did letter 1 and I did call 1, and then ideally you would have a date here. So if letter 1 was on 4/24, this will be on 5/24, and this would be on 6/24. And then these, you would track everything here. Your attorney letter could also be on 4/24, and attorney call could be on 4/25. And so you just kind of go down the line. If you're making the calls one by one, you just pop in the date that you made the call. As you're doing the letters, I would Google how to copy. We'll figure out how to copy this down without having to do 210 lines. But this is something it's very simple, but you can use this as your CRM. Now, the reason we put these all the way to the right is because each month you're going to get a spreadsheet like this. So with rows A through AN, and then we added, oops, from AN we added AO through AV. So we added these 8. Now let me show you what we're going to do for next month. Next month we're going to go Control C to copy this, only the heading row. And then we're going to hit number 1, Control V, and paste it in there. So the next month, if we decide to use separate tabs, what's going to happen is you'll have data populated all the way over to this column, and these will all be blank. But you already have your header made, so you don't have to go through and add all these columns. You only have to do that one time. And as you create a new month, you just go to row 1 and hit Control V. And you can add as many of these as you want across there. So you can track it literally by the month that they came in. So you know in April, these are people who filed probate in March. In May, there are people who filed probate in April. So it's 1 month behind the actual filing. So hopefully this is helpful. Now there's a lot of information here that we didn't talk about, like the PR's name, address. If you're ordering mail through us, this is something that we'll handle for you. You just send us this actual sheet and we will do the mail merge based on the original information. So really this video is for demonstration purposes of how you can use Google Docs to set up a simple prospecting CRM. So when you come in, you're going to be looking at, and I guess I can highlight the valid information. Excuse me. Oh, that's an ugly color. Let's go with bright yellow. So that's going to be your PR phone numbers. The attorney name is irrelevant. Actually, we're going to say the attorney first, middle, and last is more relevant than the firm name. And then so this is really anything in yellow now is going to be the information that you're going to use for prospecting. So you're going to mail the PR, the personal representative, first, middle, and last will be the name on the letter. The address, city, state, zip is where the letter goes. And then these are the phone numbers you call for that person. For the attorney, you're going to have his or her first, middle, and last name, the address of the office that you're mailing to, and then their phone number is the last. So these are kind of the relevant fields for prospecting. Now everything else, this is useful information. We know that deceased last address may or may not be the subject property that you're trying to list. Something else is you can see that the people that died out of state, there's actually quite a few in Florida because you have a transient population. So you can see, where these people were when they passed away. This could be at a relative's house or a nursing home. This is probably an apartment building or a nursing home. So some of these were, in town in apartments. Like this one, he was in West Lafayette, Indiana, 1402. This was likely a nursing home or assisted living. So anyways, this is just a really simple way how you can use Google Sheets to prospect. And if you need any more help, we can definitely help you out with that. Hopefully this was valuable, and